going live while Craig is mid-chew on his third piece of candy, so we all know how this show's gonna go. But I have to be nice to him because it's Veterans Day, so happy Veterans Day to all of you. Thank you for your service. We appreciate it. Even if you were the...
All right. Happy Veterans Day to all my veteran brethren and cisterns, brothers and sisters that served in the military. Thank you.
Oh, that's all you gotta say. Oh, is that why you're going out for lunch?
Yeah, I'm gonna go, excuse me. I'm gonna go have lunch with one of my former paratrooper brothers that lives in Cherville.
Nice.
So, great story actually. I have an 82nd Airborne Division license plate holder. He saw it, flagged me down, talked to me. It turns out,
tell Mike I said
yeah, Mike Gibson, yeah. So, and turns out we were in the same unit, the same time, all that stuff. Like we knew each other. And he's from Texas. I don't even know what he was doing here. He got a job transfer, so he works up here.
Nice.
So shout out to my buddy Mike. We'll be going to B-dubs later for our 10 free boneless wings that they are offering to veterans today, which we appreciate. So,
all right.
That's about
we have
and thanks for all the
viewer.
thanks for all the kind things that people are putting on my Facebook. I made a military one of my things wearing my cool paratrooper beret.
I'm telling you, who else thinks that he looks like Neil there? Like, I was like, I didn't even recognize him. Like, and I don't think they look alike. So then I'm looking at that, I'm like, wait, is that Neil? He's like, no, it's me.
Probably just because I had no beard and, very short hair and is in way better shape. So that's probably why I look like Neil back then. Because Neil's in good shape. So anyway.
I did not say that for the record anyway.
Well, I mean, the record shows, people can scroll back 10 seconds and know who said it. It was this guy.
I was just saying I agree with you, but I couldn't say it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yay, hi to the one-line viewer. We appreciate it.
Enough about Neil. Let's talk more about me, right?
Oh,
no,
God.
I'm just kidding. Shut up. All right.
Last week's show was about you, so this week's show is not about you.
I was going to post on Facebook that we had a special guest host today, Nicole Hansen, because she's been gone. Hey, thanks, Brad. Thanks. Nicole's been not fulfilling her duties as co-host of this show.
I was here last
for the
Friday.
last 3 weeks. You didn't do the show with me.
Yes, I did.
Did we?
Yes. You're getting your time.
Oh, it's my birthday, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
We did the show. Okay. Anyway, whatever. Who cares? Let's get on with it, folks. All right. So we've got 5 things we wish we would have known before we got started, or 5 things. Not really we wish we known, but yeah, just 5 things that
are unknown about
we
real
didn't,
estate.
Yeah, we never would have anticipated. And I guess every career has questions like that, but I think we got some big ones here that because there's so many things about real estate. You think you can control your own schedule, you get these giant fat paychecks, you get all this stuff, and it's like, when it's settled, it's pretty much a job, just like any other job. So,
except you just work 24/7 all the time. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah, it's no problem. And you don't have to mess around with punching in and punching out. You're always punched in. So there you go. So okay, so we're gonna get to our number 5. Number 5, and this one cracks me up, but it is so relevant I could not remove it from the list as much as I wish I could have. But it is the high school drama-ness of salespeople.
It's a dramedy. It's a dramedy. Sometimes you laugh because it's funny, and sometimes it's just drama because it's not. And it's like, I think sometimes people, and I think most of the time it's not a professional thing, right? I think most of the time the high school drama is on the personal side, not so much professional.
Yeah.
But it is definitely entertaining sometimes.
It is entertaining, and I caution all young realtors and people new to the business, you really have to protect your reputation. It means everything. When you're dealing with multiple offer scenarios and stuff like that, and a good professional listing agent gets multiple offers and they see, this person's a high drama person, or this person's a good, I've worked with this person before, they stay out of they help make the transaction flow smoothly. It's a good thing because realistically, we all want our clients to have a good transaction where they have confidence in our ability. When you bring all that drama into the transaction, I don't think customers truly appreciate it.
It's not fun.
No.
And then one person, and then if you get 2 agents that are doing that at the same time, that's not that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
So that'll kind of lead us into number 4. But somebody's gotta, if you have one that's doing drama, somebody has to not do it and just stand firm and stay, within that non-drama, whatever. But
yeah.
But there's lots of yickety, yickety, yickety. It's like two little ladies, like everywhere.
Hey, Cynthia. Yeah, and it's like, so be careful. I would say rise above it. Everything gets back to whoever you're talking trash about. And trust me, I've been both a victim and I victimized, by me running my mouth as well. So, but every time I do, and I get caught every time, and I always try to be better next time and try to avoid that. I've really tried to protect my reputation over my 20-something year career, and I think you should too. So that's bottom line. That's bottom line. Okay.
All right, let's go to 4.
Quattro. Just a little button right there, like that. All right. Button. Nicole doesn't say the T in the middle of that word. Button. It's a BU space ON. Button. Actually, it's more BU space IN. Button.
True, that is true, yeah.
But she's very efficient. She doesn't have to, she doesn't have to waste time saying
too many
T's.
Too many syllables.
Button. All right, enough button. 4.
Let deals die. I'm going to take this from him because he seems to be talking a lot the last couple shows. So, let deals die. I always say, there's a point where, I always compare it to, medical stuff where you're, bleeding out, right? And, you're trying to put the gauze on it and it's just too much and it just is, there's just no saving it. And when it gets to that point, you have to rip the Band-Aid off and just realize the deal is dead. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sometimes people try to hold on to that way longer than they should. And that doesn't work very well, and it just stresses the buyer and the seller out and the other agent out a lot. Why are you always doing half in? I scooted over so you can scoot your chair over. There, that's better.
I can't. I got this stupid file cabinet drawer in my way.
Oh, it's so sad that I picked this side to sit on for that reason.
Wow. Yeah, real selfless on Veterans Day, but whatever.
Oh, okay. Whatever. Then you'd be like, why are you sitting in that chair?
Why
sit on this side.
Yeah, that's one guilt trip for Nicole for Veterans Day. That's one. Mm-hmm. Okay, so sometimes a dead deal is just going to be dead. You need to have the expertise to know the difference. If it's a lending issue, and again, of course, any advice we ever give, talk to your managing broker first. Do whatever your managing broker says. Don't listen to us. If we contradict what your managing broker says, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so if you got to switch lenders, switch lenders. If you got to switch anything, work for the buyer. But if a deal's not going, if you got 2 lenders that say, hey, this is not a conforming deal, this won't work because of this reason, it can't go conforming. You're just doing yourself and your client a disservice. And if you represent the buyer, you got to release that listing and let that other agent, sell that listing for that seller and stuff like that. Don't hold deals together that aren't going to work.
And the interesting thing is, I feel like all these steps today are all the next level. So number 3, then we roll into emotionally draining. This is why our job is emotionally draining, because
freaking hair is starting to irritate me.
Oh yeah, alfalfa. What I always say is you're on, right? Say you show 15 houses to 3 different clients on a Saturday. You are on for 8 hours. And by the time you get home, you are emotionally drained because you are making sure that all their needs are met and whatnot. And the same way with a deal dying. I mean, it can be you're working at 8, 9 o'clock at night with the lender and whatever, and you're trying to save stuff. And you're just all that effort I just put in was for nothing. So it can be very, very emotionally draining, especially when you're new.
Yeah. What's up, Eric with the C? Okay, so yeah, it's very emotionally draining. And even when you submit an offer with a buyer, that buyer's on pins and needles. They're so nervous and anxious, and they're texting all the time. Do you hear anything yet? Do you hear anything? It's whoa, we just sent it to them 3 seconds ago. We won't hear anything for 2 days or whatever. Thanks, Jen. Thanks, Skips. So I think that's very interesting. Is just the amount of emotional baggage sometimes we take. I always say, in my opinion, if we do a good job, our client thinks our job's so easy. Yeah. Because we made it look easy.
Well, that's I try to take on a lot of emotions of the transaction so the buyer and seller don't feel more stress. A lot of times we're going behind the back end. I had one this week, I involved Craig in and stuff but the buyer doesn't need to know that all that stuff's going on in the back end. so you're taking on a lot of those emotions yourself to not bring more stress to your buyer or seller.
Yeah, and I would say don't share realtor drama with your customers. If you're having a hard time dealing with the other agent, the last thing you should do is bash the other agent to your customer,
right?
Because quite frankly, it degrades the whole career path.
It makes your client emotional,
yeah.
And you need to keep their emotions down. Their emotions are already on high anyway. Yeah. You just it's like adding fuel to that fire.
Yeah, it's very self-centered to get your client involved in your emotional state, because they're the ones that are selling the house they grew up in. Maybe their kids got like marks on all the thresholds of the door while they're growing. I mean, to them, they are emotionally involved. That's their home that they're selling. They hire us so we can take the emotion out of it, and we can help them make rational, logical decisions and things like that are good for business.
All right, number 2.
And that's the business we're in, and then business is good.
What's number 2?
All right, number 2, it says how much work it is, and how realistically, whether you're part-time or full-time, it is a full-time thing, unfortunately. It is not geared towards part-timers, and no offense to any part-timers, the majority of license holders are part-time, so that's okay. I'm not knocking that. All I am saying is, what would you rather have if you were going to have surgery performed on your, let's say, open heart surgery? Do you want a part-time doctor that does it on the side and works at Subway also, or no, not Subway, or do you want a full-time doctor that's cutting open chest and ripping open rib cages and fixing hearts all day
15
long?
15 times a day.
Yeah, I want that person. I want that person with their hands in my chest fixing my ticker. Yeah,
I think the thing that we don't realize, especially...
Freaking hair is pissing me off now. Went from,
take some water and go like that.
Something I can handle to something that's irritating the crap
out of me. Take
a
little bit of water on your finger, and then...
Oh, I think I got it.
It's still there, but it's not as thick.
I would, if it was nicer, I'd just pour this whole water bottle on my head right now and just go... I just do that. That'd be fun. I haven't done a crazy Nicole and Craig show thing for a while. What happened to get my back waxed and all that other kind of crazy stuff we were going to do?
We'll talk about that later.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you pissed off our production company. No.
No, that is not what happened. Whatever.
Shout out to John. Hey, John. Love you guys.
So, now you lost my train of thought. Anyway, how much work? Everybody always thinks that, we just look pretty and open doors and all that other stuff. Well, they don't realize there is an entire other half of the job, which is all the paperwork and all the coordination and everything that goes on behind the scenes. And if you don't know how to balance those and you don't have assistants, all that is on you. Every single thing.
Your boo's watching.
Oh, yeah. So, anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, what else do you have to say about that topic, Craig?
It's just a lot of work, like when I first got started, the misconception was, one, you get paid tons of money and it's easy, you can control your own schedule, work is easy, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's not.
No, it's not.
It's a lot of work. It's a real job.
Like, you work for yourself, but you really work for every client and every seller, buyer that you have. Title company, appraisers, you have 15 bosses now at this point instead of just one. So it's a lot different. It can be fun and manageable and stuff, but I will say, when I first started, I worked probably 70, 80 hours a week for the first 2 years. And then after that, I was able to kind of dial it back some. But marketing, accounting, cold calling, getting leads, doing websites, emails, title, attorneys, whatever it is. I mean, they're every single thing that I can think of.
Yeah, and we should have a sixth thing on our list, an honorable mention, how much realtors drink, and not to say that it's a thing, it's just so,
but it kind of is.
And every other job I've ever been at, and it's not many really, but at lunch having a glass of wine would be weird, I would think.
Yeah.
But realtors, it's it's weird if you don't. Yeah. It's like well, you're not. We're at a every restaurant we go to is a bar. We don't. It's like our biggest question for most lunches is, do you want a high top or do you want to sit at the bar? What do you want? So which I think is funny, but I think that's also, I think we tend to blow off a little bit more steam because we deal with so much emotional, stuff and
every
things
day.
like that. So yeah, so I think that's, so anyway, but being full-time, truly, I mean, I've dropped the ball on things.
As a
full-timer, yeah, I can't imagine if I was only putting half the effort into it. It would be more complicated. And again, no knocking anyone that is part-time, but I mean, personally, I'm not going to hire someone to sell what for many people is one of their most expensive investments in their their real estate. Hire someone that's part-time to do it. I have a harder time doing that. But
all right. And number one, this I like to beat into my agents' heads as much as I can.
And shout out to Jackie for this one too. Yeah.
Thanks,
Jackie
Jack.
suggested this one.
You must use a schedule. Google Calendar. I don't care if you're on my team, I care if you're old school. But in general, use some sort of planner.
No
if it's paper,
Nancy.
Exactly. If it's paper and you have to, that's fine. But then when you leave it somewhere and you can't remember where you left it, then you have no idea what you're supposed to be doing for the day. Are you looking at other candy again?
No.
What are you doing?
No, I'm getting excited. Guess what's coming up soon? Christmas time.
Good Lord. I can't believe Thanksgiving's only a couple weeks away. Anyway, respect your time.
Turkeys get a holiday anyway.
And respect other people's time. I think that's the big thing to remember. Block out.
Big dumb chickens.
Oh my God. Are we doing a show or is it squirrel? Squirrel.
No, I was just saying. I mean, I'm just wondering where turkeys got so uppity and got a whole holiday. I gotta eat a turkey every year. Like what? No.
I don't know. Go to Rick and Morty and see the turkey, the Thanksgiving one.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good episode. Yeah.
Anyway, use a schedule. If you don't,
we're still doing the show?
Yes.
Oh, I get it now. I get it now. Oh, so what she's saying, everyone's schedule. Like, I should have scheduled time that I was going to start talking about Christmas and turkeys and stuff. But yeah, the amount of work that goes into real estate is it's a legit amount of work. It's a real job. It's
Hi,
not.
Cece.
Yeah, it's not a. It's a real job. That's all there is to it.
Well, and
work.
Honestly, I feel like because it's our own business, I feel like we work like 10 times harder than we would at a regular job. But I feel like it's also more fulfilling. And
I do think it's more rewarding. I think you can be compensated based on the amount of value you provide to the marketplace. Right. So that's great.
But if you
Carmen, I like it. She's doing a brisket for Thanksgiving. She's not.
That sounds delicious. Yeah. She's an excellent baker too. I miss her cakes. But
does she know the address of the office in case you ever want to drop any samples off?
No, but I can send it to her.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the big thing is you gotta block your schedule and not, I never tell them I have something personal to do. I just say, hey, I'm not available during that time. I have another appointment. Schedule it out so that you can see your family, because if you don't, you may not see your family except in bed when they're sleeping when you get home finally at 9:30 after showing houses in the summer. So
okay.
Yep.
All right. Weird.
Why was that weird? You're weird.
I never
a line right here. See it?
Yeah.
Can you guys see that? It's like a blue. It's like my teeth are blue right through there.
Oh yeah, it looks like your phone.
Oh, I think it's a thing that nobody else can see except us, because it's like bring them on the camera. That's what it is. We're real good at.
I still have a little bit of a tan going. You notice that?
It's Veterans Day. Thank you for your service, Craig. That's all I have to say.
This is the sugar. I think this is sugar's influence. This is your brain on sugar. Any questions?
No, I think that's all we have for today.
Right. Well, thanks to everyone, and thanks for all the Veterans Day wishes and all that kind of good stuff. Have a great day. Have a great thing. And that's it. Be awesome.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.